If you followed the art community in 2020, you've probably heard the name Hopeless Peaches. Someone through immense backlash managed to come out on top. However, over the last couple of months, that seemingly all vanished, with a lot of people in the community showing their disdain for them. How can a creator so respected lose all credibility and go from accusing people to being accused themselves? Today, we'll be diving back into the rabbit hole to answer that very question. In the fallout of Hopeless Peaches' career, Peaches, Cosmic, and Luma would drop documents alleging LioConvoy to be a abuser and ableist. Besides the blatant hypocrisy in the document, Hopeless Peaches and their allegations of abuse and more is what I'm going to be focusing on. Peaches in the document would allege LioConvoy to emotionally abuse them and allege that LioConvoy accused them of being an apologist. Hopeless Peaches starts off the document, whereas they take accountability for the Rosa call we mentioned in the last video. They claim that this was out of character, but that is allegedly not the truth. A segment I will be getting into later, Hopeless Peaches would use the word and other words along those lines. Although I don't have an issue with people saying this is to point out a lie. Here's a screenshot of Hopeless Peaches saying the word. I know Akumo is known for being creepily persistent, but I also know Nezzy is quick to be offended and reads into things a lot. I mean, they got offended I don't like anime. I never called you a racist, I just heavily implied it through saying you're painting all one ethnicity to the same brush. That's textbook racism, Nezzy. You have to be intentionally lying or do not know what that means. And here's another screenshot of them allegedly saying autist. I think it's been an issue for a while in those circles outside the stuff with you. I don't know the lore. Nobody knew him until he pissed Harley off. I never spoke about him and he didn't have much content. That group did, apparently. They better mention me in my appeal bringing all the autists into the yard. I'll let Susie know, lol. As seen here, if these screenshots are real, I think them saying this is out of character is untrue, as they seem to be perfectly fine with saying it. Additionally, in the statement, Hopeless Peaches then alleges that LioConvoy is an abuse. LioConvoy claims this isn't based on evidence, and as we'll get into it, but for now let's continue. Hopeless Peaches after that says LioConvoy isn't a that I'm aware of, as some people have claimed, but he isn't a savior of the innocent either. Them saying he isn't a child predator I'm aware of is obviously a horrible thing to say. Saying that statement is like saying they might be one, but there's no evidence, which is not only irresponsible, but just completely Later on, Hopeless Peaches would say, LioConvoy is a man that has taken in vulnerable people, mostly new as minors who have trauma relating to by older men to fulfill his fantasy of a perfect family. According to LioConvoy, he has 4 members of his found family. 2 he knew as minors and only took them in when they became adults. Hopeless Peaches claims that they tried to push 2 different people into the family dynamic, which has no evidence, and LioConvoy denies it. Furthermore, LioConvoy even shows a call they had with one of these people, Jibs, disagreeing with Hopeless Peaches' sentiment. This shows that one of the people involved seems to not have been pushed into a situation that they didn't really want to be in. Not discrediting it, maybe it happened with the others, but again, there's no proof from what I've seen to even claim this.
They mention that there were 2 other, they specifically worded 2 other victims of Joshua Vida, so thus kind of excluding Jordan from that. I don't know if that was intentional, that were sort of pressured into the family dynamic with Lio, who said no and then faced consequences for that. I'm aware of this potentially, as I've spoken with some people who know about that, but I'm confused as to if that was meant to include me in any sort, because if so, that's not true.
Peaches seems to be wrong here. If this did happen, they have literally no supporting evidence to even claim such a thing. Peaches' claims of Leo wanting a perfect family dynamic, LioConvoy adamantly denies, and in his response, he showed that Peaches was going to him being mad that he wasn't being harsh enough to the others, which shows that Peaches seems fine with going to him with issues, and even shows Convoy trying to potentially fix any issues. According to LioConvoy, why would Peaches be so fine with going to issues with him if he wanted a so-called perfect family?
The claim Peaches is making of me wanting the perfect family is also incorrect. Here are screen caps of Peaches beating me down for not being harsh enough to the other family members because of what they did to him. If I wanted a perfect family, then why did Peaches feel comfortable going to me with their issues with the others? Wouldn't I have been dismissive of any potential problems if I wanted to either maintain or achieve a perfect family dynamic? If I'm trying to help by addressing the issues for the sake of obtaining a perfect family dynamic, would that not be a good thing?
Hopeless Peaches then claims that when they went to the hospital for an attempt of sorts, alleged that Leo pressed the idea of family on them in a vulnerable state. However, Leo goes on to state the opposite. Leo claims on the day it happened, she was in a call with him through it, and later, not the same day, Hopeless Peaches said that they had issues with male authority figures in their life, and Leo said that he could be that for them. About a week later, according to Leo Convoy, they had been finally introduced to the others. Leo says that he has had issues understanding when Peaches is age regressing and had to be reminded constantly. According to Leo, Peaches framed this as and if what Lio was saying is true, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that.
After I became aware of it, because I'm not intimately knowledgeable of mental health signs or specific behavioral cues, and Peaches knew that. Lumi would sometimes have to directly point out to me that Peaches was age regressing because I failed to recognize it. Putting this up as though I took advantage of this is to intentionally frame me as predatory.
Hopeless Peaches then goes on to say that for the last 8 months, Leo emotionally and verbally abused them. Leo, on the other hand, states that he would discard how he was feeling in the moment to help Peaches with supporting screenshots. Do you want to call? Not really. I think you should have fun in the call with Lumi and others. You're getting really concerning. How? Just you being quiet a lot and aggressive to people. I can stand to be quieter, but I'm always aggressive with people. Quieter? Why? Like you said, I need to be wrangled into listening to people. Can't do that if I'm loud. What? You came in and make people feel uncomfortable because you keep talking like that and nobody is able to help, and you snap at people who try. Who have I snapped at for trying to help? It'd be easier to talk than text, but you don't want to do that. And what do you mean talking like that? That's literally what you said to me and Colin with everyone. You can call if you feel it would be better. I'm sick of people being my, in quotes, friend, but believing the worst of me all the time and being all, oh yes, Aaron would much prefer to not be around or to hate on myself, etc. I didn't say any of that. You prove it with your actions though. How? You think I want you to just not be around and to shut up and hate yourself? You can call if you think it'll help communicate. Okay, ready when you are. Peaches would also claim that Leo used their against them and called them an apologist. However, Leo shows proof that they, to my knowledge, didn't and was what seems like sympathetic to their experience. Why Hopeless Peaches seems to not be truthful here, I don't really know. Been having a weird day today, having some intrusive thoughts about my group, and it's a mix of being sad and angry that I essentially let get away. I'm having a very wobbly time mentally over it, like it happened all in my own head, and I need to get over myself. I know that I need to just suck it up and cope. I don't even think about the fact this guy could have done it to other people, since I was close with him until the end of 21 and had a bunch of people brush it off and see it as nothing than other happened, so I didn't think about it. Then Dad said how they never just stop at one person, and I feel like for letting someone get away with that. It's not your fault. He didn't do anything to me, but he could have to somebody he in the States. In quotes, I'm fine, so it's okay to keep this schizo around me and let him get away with things. End quote. I'm a shitty person for it, and I'm culpable if that guy harmed anyone while being around me. That's not how it works. I've been sat feeling sorry for myself when I wasn't the victim. I didn't get diddled. I didn't send CP. What I did do was play games with him on Twitch a few times and give him a little space to hurt people. I've told you before why it doesn't work like that. Leo Convoy also denies the claim of calling Hopeless Peaches an apologist. On top of this, Leo shows a clip of Peaches, whereas Peaches seemingly has joked in the past about their age regression. As we again later in this video, this better corroborates what Leo is saying when he has an issue with knowing when Peaches is age regressed or not.
I brought up some of the others' experience to highlight Peach's values need to be consistent in order to validate what he went through. While I won't doubt that I got more graphic than I should have to try to hammer this in, I didn't know he was age regressed at the time, nor did I actually accuse him of being an apologist. Age regression is easier to notice in person than it is a basic voice chat. In fact, Peaches sometimes spoke in a childish manner for the fun of it, like on this stream.
Ooh, what is that? A ducky, a ducky, a ducky, a duck, a duck, a duck, a duck, a duck.
Now, let's take a second to talk about the calls that were released. And all of the calls included that I've seen being the post-Raven call 1 and 2, I have not seen any proof that Leo was, in quotes, in the first call, he was definitely assertive and raised his voice, but he didn't yell. This was a confrontation, and I wouldn't really consider this abusive anyways. Peaches then claims that Leo pushed them to sell. However, there's literally no proof to this claim, and Leo obviously denies it. Additionally, Peaches claims that Leo didn't want the public to know how he mistreated other family members. This seems to be a straight up lie, as in a DM from Leo Convoy's response, she seems to even be on Leo's side. I blocked Serfina today. Why? She has Crystal and Water Dorito back in her server and was posting uwu popcorn gifts over people calling me a as well as going behind the scenes to say Crystal has solid proof like that, while also letting people in her server call you an despite saying in Senate she doesn't believe Jordan and Jay. When did you hear about the proof thing? Because I talked to Sarah last night and she fully understands what happens now and is on our side. It was yesterday or the other day, and she made a stream basically calling it all dumb drama and is just having Crystal and Dorito talk in her server today. Peaches after this would also say that Leo Convoy used her being and her getting out of an relationship to threaten her with police visits and being put away. However, it seems like that's also untrue. Leo can be seen in these DMs to be trying to help Peaches, and in Leo's own words, would get scared when they didn't want to pick up. So if they didn't respond, he would get worried and would consider calling someone to check up on them.
I'd always try to get them back and call, but if that didn't work, what else was I supposed to do? All I could do was call emergency services or tell Peaches that I'd have to if they wouldn't pick up. I never used it as a threat or a weapon. It's all I could do to try and keep them safe.
I can't see this claim from Peaches as less than malicious and a straight up lie. Peaches then goes on to say that Leo didn't have real kids because he was afraid he was going to Hopeless Peaches, as what from I've seen, maliciously framed this as Leo Convoy explained a story on how the only reason he felt that way is because he is a victim of abuse from his father.
But since this is out here now, I have to address it and correct it, knowing full well this is going to be weaponized against me by the worst of people. When I was a kid, my old man abused me in every way but sex.
From what I've seen in the situation, there isn't enough proof I've seen to claim that Leo abused Peaches. There's so many things that seem to be lies or straight up malicious framing, but besides all of that, let's go over the allegations against Hopeless Peaches and the most degenerate server in the art community and uncover how complicit was Hopeless Peaches in this situation. Hopeless Peaches, around the time of them leaving, would have an old situation brought to the public, and all this started with one drama concerning Madame. Madame was a popular commentator along the vein of what is a female Leafy is here. They would gain a lot of respect and even hit the huge milestone of 50,000 subscribers. However, with one simple mistake, they lost everything. Madame would ask for art from a person named Slimmers, a 15-year-old artist. This artist asked for only one thing in return for free art, and that was exposure. All Madame had to do was credit them, but they didn't do that. This situation got huge with huge art commentators at the time covering it, and important to this story and what we're going to be getting into, 3 big art commentators covered it as well. Hopeless Peaches, someone who word for word said that Slimmers was 15.
YouTuber by the name of Madam has recently been accused of stealing art from a 15-year-old artist called Slimmers.
ZZ, someone who at the very least acknowledged that Slimmers couldn't have a PayPal because of their age. This would mean that they would have at least have known that they were underage.
See, Madame is a YouTuber who was interested in commissioning an artist called Slimers. Slimers, due to their age, did not have a PayPal, therefore could not accept payment.
And lastly, Toasty Vanilla, a small art commentary YouTuber who is currently sitting at 1,000 subscribers. Someone in this situation we will be getting into is objectively the worst. On the server we will be getting into, Toasty Vanilla allegedly acknowledged the age of Slimmers. She's still a minor and doesn't have a job, so no adventures for her yet. This is important because all of them acknowledged the age of Slimmers, something we'll be getting into later. During the public fallout of Madame, the Fruitcake Club, or FCK server, was created. This server was originally made to talk about Madame and talk about making a video. Around this time, the before mentioned Slimmers, the victim of Madame, was added. Slimmers and James are doing an interview, so I'm gonna see if I can catch that into this. At Slimmers has joined the chat. I'm here. And the first day Slimmers was added, they were allegedly being where Slimmers was there, a reoccurring situation you will see throughout this. Toasty Vanilla would talk about what Overwatch character they'd be interested in. If you could any female character from Overwatch, who would it be? At Slimmers. I don't play Overwatch, but I'd Bayonetta. She's pretty hot, not gonna lie. At Just Vanilla, Bayonetta, she's hot to be honest. I'd probably Mercy or Bridget, and from any game outside of Overwatch. Actually, wait, I have to think about this. Okay, now I'm not a scaly or anything, but Yooka-Laylee. The FCK or Fruitcake Club server was a degenerate server to say the very least. And on top of this, they were apparently fine with posting anywhere and everywhere, where again they were allegedly minor. Why there wasn't a specific chat to post their degeneracy in that did involve minors, I don't really know. This is obviously a bad thing to do, and overall the server was handled poorly when it comes to it. Slimmers was one of these alleged minors, where Hopeless Peaches acknowledges the age of them, showing that they have at least apparently known the age of this person when this all took place, stating them to again be 15. What transpired in this chat was people making what seems like jokes when they all allegedly knew that Slimmers was in the Discord server, who was again apparently 15. Ben showed me your Toasty is the big popular now. Did something big happen while I was gone? You're hot, Toasty. Finn showed me my from when I was 16. Yes, you're calling a 16-year-old hot. Yes, show me your soggy hot. I'm 17, N-word, it's legal. At ZZ, Toasty has requested you join VC. At ZZ, hey, we're drawing prawn, whoopsies. Oh my. At deleted user, you need to prove your worth and share your art. At deleted user, want to be my Toasty to my vanilla? You're too vanilla in bed, I'm afraid we're toast. At deleted user, you won't accept his vanilla unless he has melons and toast, blank. Blank on my toast. Toasty, I prefer butter on those, blank. I see they have bread on them. At deleted user, this is why we're friends. It only makes sense, you know. Oh dear God, do not give me more ideas. Instead of blank, just put butter. Easy, toast, blank, butter. No, I blank vanilla. I think it's very possible the aforementioned image is supposed to be Toasty, as there were talks of their melons. The before mentioned screenshot I showed also has a toast of their things. I think it's more than plausible that's what it was supposed to be, as what it's in reference to. In the chat there appears to be Slimmers, and you can even see someone sending of what seems to be sandy cheeks. Vanilla would continue to be in the Toasty section of the server, a chat that was allegedly meant for particular. At Slimmers, have you seen the Rule 34 of my goat character show? Wait, are you talking about the one? The only valid version of me is the version. There's more chats of them being with the alleged 15-year-old, but I think you get the gist. You might be asking, how is Hopeless Peaches involved in this situation? Well, let's get into it. Hopeless Peaches, as seen from these screenshots, seems to have been added, as you can see from the context of this conversation. At Slimmers and at deleted user, what do you guys think about inviting Hopeless Peaches into the server? I approve. Hello, welcome, hi. I've gone up in the world. For more proof that this is Peaches' account, you can see one screenshot where it says at Hopeless Peaches and the other that says abandoned account, as seen from the before mentioned screenshot being added. This server seems very degenerate, as you have chat names like Toasty, in my mouth, etc. However, still going along in the timeline, Peaches wasn't in there yet. Though this server was originally made to take down Madame, this eventually just divulged into a hangout server when Peaches was added. As clarified by Vanilla, they describe what chats are meant for, and a very important part, as mentioned before, is that they are perfectly fine with posting anywhere and everywhere. Awesome. At that time of this server, Hopeless Peaches was above the age of 18. What transpired in the server after this is nothing short of completely degenerate. In the same server, there were other adults and even a minor in the server. In messages later when Peaches joined, they were informed they were lewd in the server, which will be important for later on, as Peaches would then know that they were somewhat sexual in the server. Hopeless Peaches would allegedly join the chat, stating, I got Lee pinged. At Mazizi, I was going to warn you, don't go through the chat, but I thought you were already in bed. Hopeless Peaches continues in the conversation, saying the following, please go through the chat. Please do not go through the chat. Don't. Fuck. So much. Oh fuck, why? Lamau, that's it. This is gonna expose you all. At abandoned account, did you just wake up? I didn't do anything. At abandoned account, did you just wake up? Yup. This is what you missed. We tried to iron out the server, and I think Xena has become my husband. I'm not sure though. And some Toontown. We just got out of a big call where we were all playing Toontown and we got at Libby to finally get the game to work. I see. I'm gonna go back to my sleep. Me too. I'm tired. At abandoned account. How's the audio doing? When do you think you'll get your new mic and stuff? I don't know. I just got a big boy yawn. Good night, Hopeless Peaches. I'm going to bed. Oh hey, I just about to go to bed. I know we couldn't Skype tonight, but that's alright. At abandoned account. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow. What was the Mad Libs tweet though? It was just a tweet hyping up her new video, since I dragged a bunch of YouTubers into it. I almost got the right opinion in on it too. At the very least, Hopeless Peaches would have seen the and knew the age of Slimmers. Hi Peaches, oh no. Toasty, quit flirting with my boyfriend. No. Hello Peaches, did you see my thighs? Oh, I see him every night, love. What are you saying? Is that Mr. Steal Your Boy? Toasty, this is War Mate. Toasty after this was apparently pleasuring themselves in a VC, and Hopeless Peaches randomly joined the call allegedly. Toasty would say the following, like 3 hours ago, at abandoned account, walked in on me and started to shame me for being in a VC alone that I didn't know I was in. This happened in the server. So Peaches shamed you? Man straight up said he had his video paused. No, she thought it was the funniest shit ever because I was like, hi Peaches, I didn't expect you here. She didn't know until I told her. So she just started going on a tangent about how I'm a loser for being alone in a VC. Peaches later in the chat would talk about it allegedly and give a warning to the server. Howdy, I must tell everyone I walked in on just vanilla and I'm scared for my life. I will never be the same again. Exactly. My innocence was was stripped from me that day. What was he doing though? You don't want to know. All you need to know is to remember to leave a public VC before doing anything. Seems very weird that when asked in a server about FCK, they said they didn't know a lot. Do you know about the FCK? Could you remind me? A group of YouTubers are commentary related. Is that the fruitcake thing? Yes. I didn't interact enough to know a lot why. This is untrue, as you can see from previous screenshots. They were involved enough to know that spammed in there. There could be an argument that they left the server because they didn't like what was happening, but I beg to differ. They knew there was being spammed in there, and even drew their own OC. They even allegedly joined back later in the server when invited to join again. I think the pure degeneracy of the server shouldn't be ignored. Hopeless Peaches at the very least allegedly acknowledged that there was in the chat. When we are mainly focusing on Hopeless Peaches and knowing the age of slimmers, they should have said something, anything, but from my knowledge, I haven't seen them do it. Criticism I have here is irresponsibility, hypocrisy, and I think Peaches should have done something. Although they aren't the owner of the server by any means, the context that they knew the age of slimmers makes me question why they never said anything. When the situation was brought back to light, Hopeless Peaches would release a Twitter thread responding to the accusations. They started off by stating that they were not active in the server, which we already know isn't really true. They then state that around this time they were apparently being but saying this doesn't excuse it, which I agree with. Regardless, Peaches still did something bad here. The story of Hopeless Peaches seems to be finally over. The FCK server is an absolute hellhole, and I only scratched the surface in this video. Hopeless Peaches, if everything displayed in this video is true, is a hypocrite, liar, and completely irresponsible. But this is going to be about it for this video. Thank you to the channel members, and also make sure to check out my second channel where I do art commentary related podcast content. And until next time, that's about it.